I talk a lot about how the energy that you carry within yourself can very much shape your life. Your thoughts and emotions can either make you feel good or not good. But today we're going to be talking about creating vibes on a totally different level and how to create good vibes only when it comes to the people in your life. Because not only is it your energy, but it's the energy of the people in your world, in your circle. Everyone has an energy about them. And a lot of times for people, their energy, what they project out into the world, that can be a couple of things. There can be the facets of people that showing the best versions of themselves, but there can also be that undercarriage, that underweight of their own scars, their own traumas, a lot of times unresolved that they're carrying with them. That can very much influence the way they communicate or don't communicate. Maybe they're passive aggressive, maybe they're indifferent, maybe they do more to dominate a conversation or they hide back. So many of the things that people do in their behaviors and dynamics with others is so much based on their own emotional weight that they're carrying, that they're still figuring out how to heal from. It's a pretty universal thing. Now, that doesn't mean it's your responsibility to have to help all of the people in your life with their own emotional weight. That's a lot of weight for you to carry. It's important that you focus on you. But as it relates to today and why you're here with me today, we need to make sure that you are vibing on the good vibes of the people in your world, and you're getting very, very clear on other people in your world that are either helping you versus the people that are not helping you in the direction of your life and where you want to go, and most important, how you feel. There's layers to this, and there's a lot of layers that I can go, but I want to break this down and keep this super simple because relationships are also tricky, right? This can involve a partner or a spouse. This can involve family. It can involve friends, but it can also involve just looking at the overall patterns and vibes of people that are in our life. Do you ever feel like when you're in relationships that you play a certain role? Do you ever feel like no matter how you try to show up, that the dynamic, the interaction is always the same? If that's the case, what we need to actually look at are the patterns that are showing up in your world and getting really, really aware of them. Because a lot of times it can feel like, why does this keep happening to me? Why is this the nature of this dynamic? Why do these types of people keep showing up? Why does it trigger the same insecurities or feelings within me that do not feel good at all? Why am I acting like this? Why do I feel like I'm a 5-year-old around this person when I'm in my 30s, 40s, 50s? Those are the things to start to look at. Those are the things to start to get really aware of, because a lot of times it can feel like for the people that are in our deepest circles, and these are the people who've probably been in our circles for a really long time, we need to make sure that we're very in tune with the energy of those people. And are there dynamics we need to change or shift and maybe model new behavior to? Are there dynamics we need to create a little bit more distance from? Or maybe dynamics that we need to have more magnetic and bring closer to us? So let's break this down and keep this really, really simple. I want you to think about the people that are in your life, in whatever level that is. It could be your closest orbit to people way, way out that maybe you run into every now and then. The first type of people are the elevators. These are the people that you absolutely want in your life. These are the people that when you're around them, it's like soaking up their good juju. It feels so good to be in their presence. Conversation feels easy. It feels like you're maybe getting creative or thinking about new ideas, or you're excited to share, and you can feel the body language even is different. You feel close to this person. Maybe physically you're closer to this person. You feel excited. You can't stop moving. You could talk for hours on end to these people. You could share with them the deepest parts of your being. And you will come out of an interaction with them feeling like your buckets have been filled because they gave you something. You gave them something too, but making this about the other person, they gave you something. They made you feel good. They made you feel listened to, heard, worthy, appreciated, understood, acknowledged. They gave you attention. They gave you advice. They gave you laughter or tears or whatever it is that you needed. But you're in tune. You're in sync with those people. It's like the path of least resistance with them. It's like flow. There's this whole concept around flow, being in this state of flow where it's just easy and it's just vibing, like the beautiful ocean lapping waves onto a shore. Just easy, just happens again and again. You don't have to put a lot of conscious thought or preparation into it. You don't have to have time afterwards to recover from being for that person because you feel exhausted. They're elevators. They elevate every part of your soul. Who do you have in your life who's like that? Do you have people in your life who are like that? If you do, how can you bring elevators more present in your life? How can you tend to them, nurture them, thank them, acknowledge them, and love them? And if you don't have an elevator, who are they? What are their traits? What are the qualities that you would want in attracting different people into your life? Maybe that's based on what you've had in previous times of your life. Maybe it's based on what you've just seen or witnessed from other people and you think, God, I wish I could have that. So those are the elevators. Now, let's go to the other side, the depleters. The depleters are the people that make you feel like a lesser version of yourself. That is probably the most poignant way I can say it. Depleters make you feel like a lesser version of yourself. They're the people who perhaps unknowingly dominate conversations. They do not spend time and attention focused on you. They're easily distracted by other things, maybe other people or by their phone, than actually engaging in conversation with you. They don't really know you. After you're done interacting with them, you feel completely exhausted, drained, like you've got nothing left to give. You just want to crawl into bed and recover and binge watch a show and not think about anything and hopefully bounce back tomorrow and recover. Those are the people that you need to be really, really, really mindful of because they can have a stickiness to them. And they can have such a stickiness to them because sometimes those are people that you've had in your life for a really, really long time. And you love them. And you're trying to figure out how can you have those people be in your life, but without them taking the energy away. So this is looking at it from a couple different levels. If it's such a level that it's a really toxic pattern in your life and you need to remove people from your life or distance yourself, that's a really important thing. Or perhaps it's actually looking at how can you change the dynamic? Is there something different you can do? Is there actually a need that you can express to them that maybe they don't even know about? Because guess what? They have their own stuff too. They're depleted too. And maybe they're seeking something. So they're trying to get something from you, your joy. Maybe you elevate them and they don't even realize that they deplete you. Dynamics are tricky and they're complicated, but they can also be pretty easily polarized into one of these two categories. And it can be so helpful for you to first just recognize, where do these people fall within me, within my life? And it's also important to remember grace with the people in your life too, no matter how often you interact with them or how much of a pattern elevators and depleters are for you, because they're bringing their own unresolved emotional wounds too, their own coping mechanisms, their own behaviors, their own needs, oftentimes unexpressed, their own things behind the scenes that they're thinking of. There's this great British show called Cultivating. It was out ages ago, but they actually had done this episode where they had the scripted version of how people normally interact with each other in a socially polite and engaging way. And then they did the entire episode again, and they called it Captain Subtext. And it was this idea that the subtext is people actually saying what's on their minds and having a conversation that way. And it was hilarious and eye-opening, because what ended up happening is you realize people are just hiding themselves. They're living under this facade, afraid of saying what they really want to say. That too influences the dynamics that you have with people and can unintentionally deplete your energy or elevate it. Now, for the sake of not unpacking all of that, this is really about you getting really mindful of who's surrounding you. Because odds are, if you're here, it's because you're looking to create something new in your life. And because you're looking to create something new in your life, you have to be really mindful of what's the energy that you're surrounding yourself with. Do these people bring you up or drag you down? Do they make you feel better, like who you truly are? Do they make you feel like a lesser version? And you have to get really mindful of, where do you need to create distance, or where do you need to bring people closer or attract more of the good into your life? Now, again, this isn't about labeling people as good or bad. Just like you don't label an emotion as good or bad, because you don't want to label you as good or bad either. It's just observing. They have their patterns, their emotions, their way of showing up, and it's ultimately not about you, but it's about you having the awareness to recognize what do you need more of and how to get more of that, and what do you need less of and how to create more distance with that. So this is about good vibes only. Go out into this world, observe how you are with people, observe the patterns, and figure out what are the ones that you need to do more of and attract more of. If you have an elevator in your life, take some time and thank them today. If you have a depleter in your life right now, maybe create a little distance, or what's even more powerful is share with them how you're feeling and a need, and maybe a way that they could help you. You might be surprised what unfolds as a result. Most of all, I trust this has really helped resonate with you. Share with me below in the comments. Let me know who's that elevator for you or that depleter. What did you learn? What did you stand out? Because ultimately, it's about how do those people affect you and how you show up. People are like switches. They can flip on different versions of yourself in a millisecond. So what did you take away from this, and how are you going to put this out into your world to create your new beginning? Because here at Ahana, that's what we're all about. Every day is a new chapter for you, and you have an opportunity to create something new and more empowering in your life, and I cannot wait to see what you do with today.